This is Glenfiddich Grand Cru. It's an interesting new limited edition from Glenfiddich. Today in this video, we're going to cover the history of Glenfiddich. We're going to talk about the presentation of this Glenfiddich Grand Cru 23, talk a little bit about the nosing and tasting, and then we're going to discuss some pairings. The presentation on this is beautiful. As you can see, you've got this raised gold lettering. You've also got this beautiful black box, and then you've got this really cool spinning mechanism that I like. And I just think it's an impressive gift for somebody. I think it's got enough fortitude to it that you could travel with it. And I think it's something beautiful to add to your own collection, and probably something interesting to talk with your friends and family about if you're going to share a nice whiskey with them. So sit back and relax, pour yourself a nice drink, and let's enjoy this fine whiskey together. I feel like Glenfiddich is a pretty standard part of any collection. When I began collecting, I got Glenfiddich bottles of the 12 year and the 15 year, and I think as much as the 18 year, but the pretty standard stuff you're going to see is the 12, 15, 18, and 21 year of Glenfiddich. So I think when you're building a collection, you're going to put it side by side with Johnny Walker, you're going to put it side by side with the Macallan, a Glenlivet, and a Dalmore. It's there. You know, Macallan's going to be on the shelf, and you're going to see Glenfiddich there as well. The Stag logo, what you see here, this deer head, is what you're going to know is emblematic of Glenfiddich. Every time you see it, you're going to know it's a Glenfiddich bottle. You're going to see one other logo that's kind of similar. That's Dalmore. We're also going to visit Dalmore on this channel. But this one in particular, because it's faced to the side instead of going straight on, this is the Glenfiddich logo. In this animation, we're going to learn where Glenfiddich is located, their distillery, which is, of course, in Scotland. And it's in an area called Dufftown, which is the town where they're located and they're right outside of. The history of Glenfiddich actually goes all the way back to 1886, and they ran their first batch in the distilleries on Christmas Day of 1887. Glenfiddich actually comes from a name, Glenfiddich, which is Gaelic for Valley of the Deer, and obviously that matches their Stag logo and kind of matches their image, so that's what that means, Valley of the Deer, Glenfiddich in Gaelic. During the 1920s, they actually produced more whiskey than any other distillery in their area, or than most of the other distilleries, so I wonder what they were doing around that period, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't all legal. Which is, always some interesting history about Prohibition and that period of time, because you still got to pay bills, you still have to keep your business running, and you still got to support families. So they were doing their best to stay running, and that's what they did. They've also got a special type of still. Their still is a swan neck type still, and it's actually smaller in size than their competitors, or similar distilleries. And they do that to give their special taste and their special flavor. That's Glenfiddich. And they also have to employ coppersmiths specifically to be able to keep everything maintained and up to the standards they need. They also got a protected spring nearby called Robbie Dew, and that's where they've gotten their water. And as you may know, or you're going to learn on this channel, every distillery has a spring or some sorts of water, and that's where the minerality comes from, and that's where distinct flavors come from, and all the different types of whiskeys that are out there. It also impacts wines. So this is something that we're going to learn about and we're going to talk about here on this channel. So with their 140-year history and what they've done to maintain their quality and the special things that they have, including their smaller stills that are swan neck, that's what gives Glenfiddich its particular flavor and also gives it its particular notes. Let's talk about the presentation here. I think the presentation here is on point. I think it's luxury and high end, and I think that's what Glenfiddich was attempting to accomplish here. It's got a lot of these gold accents, very beautiful gold text, raised. It feels good on the hand. It also has like a very soft feel to the box, and as you can see from the little cord you pull, that's also got like a gold look to it. The motion that you have from spinning it around is really nice and fun and fluid. As you can see, it looks really good with the collar on it, and take the collar and push it down and able to pull the bottle out. And it also has, once again, the gold on the interior. You're also going to have this little note in here that describes a little bit more about the notes and the taste and the experience and the innovation. And once again, it's all in gold. It's very nice. I think it's something that's very elegant and well put together, and a nice presentation in general. The bottle also is very attractive. I mean, you've got this very dark bottle with this very nice text. You've got this gold everywhere. The gold foil is real pretty. You've even got this label at the bottom that looks very nice. And once again, it's in gold and it's a little raised. And then you got the standard label on the back. The presentation is nice. You've got that luxury feel. You've got something I think is attractive and it's going to be a great gift and also something nice for your collection. You've also got this amazing bottle on the inside, but we have some other things we need to check. Now that we've seen the bottle, now that we've seen the presentation, now we've got to see the actual product itself. It's a completely black bottle, so I can't tell you what's inside. I don't really know, but I'm going to assume that it's going to be beautiful because it's probably going to match what Glenfiddich normally does. You know, they got a reputation for great whiskeys, and this right here really takes the cake when it comes to presentation and luxury. So let's just go ahead and remove the foil. Nice. Let's take a look at what the cap looks like. Oh yeah, very nice. Got that very nice gold look to it. You know, something I really like. Pretty heavy. Almost feels like metal. I think it's metal, but I'm not 100% sure. Let's go ahead and give it a smell. Oh, yeah, I do smell the vanilla. It smells a little buttery. Let's see. Let's see what the color's like. Yeah, very nice gold color. It really does add to that luxury feel, and I think that's kind of what their plan is. And I think they've hit it on the head. Yeah, I don't want to say I see any orange here. I mean, maybe more. It's just a really nice gold. Very nice, deep gold. I get some vanilla. Some oak for sure. I also get great notes of brioche, like they said on the packaging. I gotta say I taste it as well. I smell it. Yeah, this is nice. I think it's going to be great. Let's taste it. Wow. Very good. Smooth. I'd say it has a bit of a bite, but not much. I think this is something that you could drink with the mixed group of people who have a little bit of experience when it comes to whiskey and some people who don't have experience when it comes to whiskey. I think that's here. A little bit of sweetness. I'd say there's a little bit of spice as well, but it's much more buttery. I would say almost, it's elegant, luxurious for sure. The palate, I'm going to say I get lemon bars. You're also going to get that beeswax. And of course, beeswax has that really, it's almost plushness to it. That's what you're going to see here. It has a good finish. It has a strong finish, but not overly aggressive. I would say that it's a pretty smooth finish, actually. This is something that I could enjoy on a regular basis, and I think many other people could. This is not going to require an overly sophisticated palate, but if you did have a sophisticated palate and you were kind of into what you're going to get out of a whiskey, for sure with something like this, you're going to get a lot of layers, and that makes it fun. Nice finish. Very good finish. On the smoothness, I would give this probably around an 8. This is actually very smooth. If I had 1 being the least smooth and 10 the most smooth, this would probably be around an 8 in terms of smoothness. So this you could drink without water, and if you wanted to add a little bit of water to it to soften it up, you certainly could do that, but I don't think it's required. The smoothness for me is kind of like where I like it. This is probably the point at which I say smoothness is nearly perfect. You want it to be a little bit aggressive, and this right here has a little bit of aggressiveness to it, but it's not overly aggressive. I would say that you could pair this whiskey with a nice steak. I would say something a little fatty, maybe a little bit salty, maybe even some nice fish. But it would probably be a fatty fish like a salmon or something like that, but I think it would go well. Something I like to do and something I wanted to introduce you to is I normally mix a little bit of chocolate with my whiskey. I'll put a little bit on my palate and then I'll drink the whiskey alongside of it. Here I've got some from Pocari. Pocari is a brand out of Ecuador. This one has got figs, olives, and then another one has a little bit of cherry. So I'm going to go ahead and mix that out and see how it tastes. This was the dark chocolate with cherry, and I believe it's 70%. And very little sugar, which is important. You don't need a lot of sugar when you're enjoying something like this. It just really complements the fat. Does a lot. I would say get in the habit of pairing these things, trying out these different types of dark chocolate with your whiskey. See what happens. You won't be disappointed. That was the dark chocolate with fig. Great. I'm going to say overall, this is an amazing addition to your collection. It would be a great gift. It's something that's very nice to present. Also something nice to show to people when they check out your collection. It's got this really cool function to it. Got all the gold accents to it. And also has that luxury fill. So I think it's something worth checking out and something worth having in your collection. I'm going to thank you for spending this time with me to learn about Glenfiddich, also learn about this Grand Cru. I hope that you spend more time on my channel. Please like, subscribe, and share. That's important to me, and that helps grow the channel. And please take care.